The American Revolution, spanning from 1775 to 1783, was a pivotal conflict that led to the independence of the 13 American colonies from British rule. This monumental event was not merely a war for independence. It was a culmination of a series of social, political, and economic factors that had been brewing for decades. Prelude to revolution, the roots of the American Revolution can be traced back to the aftermath of the French and Indian War 1754-1763, which left Britain with a massive debt and a need to tighten its control over its colonies. In an effort to recover financially, the British government implemented a series of taxes and regulations such as the Stamp Act of 1765 and the Townshend Acts of 1767. These measures incited widespread resentment among colonists who believed they were being taxed without representation in Parliament. The rallying cry of no taxation without representation became a central theme of colonial dissent. As tensions escalated, events like the Boston Massacre in 1770 and the Boston Tea Party in 1773 highlighted the growing rift between the colonies and Britain. Colonists began to organize and unite against what they perceived as oppressive measures. The First Continental Congress convened in 1774, where delegates from 12 colonies gathered to discuss a collective response to British policies. This marked a significant step toward unity among the colonies. Outbreak of war. The conflict erupted on April 19, 1775, when British troops marched to Lexington and Concord to seize colonial arms. This confrontation sparked the Revolutionary War. The battles of Lexington and Concord are often cited as the first military engagements of the conflict, signaling the start of a fight for independence. As war broke out, the colonists formed the Continental Army, led by George Washington, who was appointed as its commander-in-chief. The early years of the war were characterized by a series of challenges for the American forces, including limited resources, lack of training, and internal divisions. However, the determination and resilience of the colonists began to shine through. Key events and turning points. The Declaration of Independence, adopted on July 4, 1776, was a turning point in the Revolution. Drafted primarily by Thomas Jefferson, it articulated the colonies' desire for independence and outlined the philosophical underpinnings of their quest for self-governance. This bold declaration galvanized support for the revolutionary cause both domestically and internationally. The turning point of the war came with the American victory at the Battle of Saratoga in 1777, which not only boosted American morale but also convinced France to formally ally with the colonies. French support proved crucial, providing military assistance, naval power, and additional resources that would help turn the tide against British forces. The final major confrontation of the war took place at the Siege of Yorktown in 1781. American and French forces besieged the British army led by General Cornwallis, resulting in a decisive victory. Cornwallis's surrender effectively marked the end of major combat operations. Conclusion and aftermath. The Treaty of Paris was signed in 1783, formally recognizing the independence of the United States and establishing borders for the new nation. The revolution had profound implications, not only for the newly formed United States, but also for the global landscape. It inspired other movements for independence and democratic governance around the world. The American Revolution was a complex interplay of ideological, social, and military factors that culminated in the birth of a new nation. The struggle for independence was not merely a fight against British rule. It was a quest for rights, liberty, and the establishment of a government that derived its power from the consent of the governed. The legacy of the revolution continues to influence democratic ideals and movements globally, making it a significant chapter in the annals of history.